Hey guys, this is Mage Class Wars Finals for the month of May 2015. I'm potted up to 1.52 million BR, very similar to my prelims, except a little bit lower because I'm using more percentage astrals rather than the red BR astrals. So I dropped my BR, but I like the spec a bit more comfortable having a deflect and illusion and things like that. And I'm in Warriors Hall again. I placed 17th in BR in the preliminaries, so I was shy just one rank from getting into Warlords Hall. Next month, I'll find a way to push into Warlords Hall. I don't think I would do that well in Warlords. I probably would have a really hard time even making the top 5 or definitely have a tough time making top 3, just because of my resistances. But even so, I think it's about time that I get back into Warlords Hall. There's a lot of really useful items in the Class War shop now. So the Glory Crystals, Titan War is supposed to come out eventually, and we'll get some rewards from that where I can get some stuff. Here's my really sleepy Triton that's not awakening again. That happened at least once or twice in prelims as well. And so yeah, I really want as many Glory Crystals as I possibly can. So if I get into Warlords Hall, even if I can make like top 10 or something, it's going to help my income there quite a bit. So all of the items to make, so to upgrade and to Holy Forge your red gear, come from the Class War shop as well as the Titan War shop. So I really need to get those items to make sure that I stay on top of those upgrades. So I go with a pretty straightforward build. This is what I used last month as well. So a Dark Sylph on my own player, and then using the Water and Wind Sylph as my troops. I did end up bringing my little hunter this time around. I decided that I might as well try it and see what it's like to have the kid there during finals, because eventually I probably will want to keep the kid in my set of heroes or on my team. That said, she dies so quickly that it's kind of irrelevant. Last month, I just skipped it and I didn't bother bringing the U-Demon, and I was fine. I explained this in the prelim video, but our section has been split. So what was pretty much all of Wartune West. So previously there were 2 West Coast sections. There was R2 Games West and Wartune West, or Wartune.com West, and even though it wasn't split, directly down the line of just like Proficient City and then like Kabam, Kong, and all of them on one side, and then just R2 Games on the other. There was some mixing of the servers, but for the most part, that was the general rule. Now that the section that I was in has been split again, and so our cross-server section is actually smaller, and we did lose some really strong players. So Moradin is in here. He's the main one since he won 5 times in a row. So now it's a new scramble for who's going to be winning Class Wars, and I think the other 2 strongest players who would be top 16 as well are Stefan and Ermin, and so yeah, it's sad to see them go. I think it's more disappointing for them since I'm still in this is definitely still the most competitive section for the West Coast time. I think it'll be more boring for them unless they really enjoy getting easier Class Wars wins. So yeah, it's definitely still competitive, but it's at least in Warriors Hall for me, it's not as strong as last month, and I definitely really should try and get my butt into Warlords Hall. Also, really laggy here. The prelim lag was just because of computer stuff on Thursday, but now I'm visiting my parents and their internet is like, I don't know, potato speeds or something. I've been trying to upload these videos and it takes forever. So luckily I'm only visiting there for like 10 days. So once I go back home and I have everything set up in my new apartment, hopefully it's a bit better. Here's thing 1, and she really draws a short stick. I see her a few times a day, and I think every single time that I could have fought thing 1, I ended up fighting her, except for at the very beginning fights. She's a really good player. She's probably, even though BR wise, she was probably not even top 5 last month. She's probably the person I had the most difficult time fighting. She got the drop on me really badly last month, and pretty much all that saved me was the fact that I had much more BR and resistances. So I didn't, take her lightly. I was definitely playing all out to make sure that there was no funny business this time around. So she's got that Medusa. Pretty much everybody now seems to have at least one Medusa troop, I think. Once in a while you see other combinations, but I think everybody knows that if you don't have at least one steel, you can get into a lot of trouble against people who have multiple Medusas. Thing 1 also has this militia outfit on that I really like. I don't know why it didn't come with a pair of wings. I guess they just couldn't think up a pair of militia-ish wings, but the outfit itself is really pretty cool. The male tunes get camouflage, which I think looks good on some of the guys, but and then other ones it looks kind of like bulky and not so great, so I think it looks better on the female tunes. I think most things look better on the female tunes, actually. I think the male archers tend to be the only ones out of the guys that get pretty cool outfits. Oh, well, the male knights get some interesting weapons. So maybe I lied. But yeah, I mean, that's the gist of most of these fights, is, most of them go into Sylph mode, and because I have a huge advantage as far as just magical attack, I mean, I can bowl over pretty much everybody in Warriors Hall at this point. What I do go for is an early stun, and so, there is a chance that that Ice Bolt will hit the U-Demon, which is not the end of the world. There's also a chance I don't bother to check for chaoses, so if they get an early chaos on me, there's a chance that I could stun or just immediately kill off my U-Demon, which is also okay. It's not a big deal. I don't really care that much about keeping my U-Demon alive. And here Cupcake, who's that's definitely a name change from Pomo. Pomo is a good buddy of mine. I've seen her in crossover stuff for so long, but she was saying that she didn't want to see me here, which I'm sure is the case for most players. I have such a huge stat advantage on the people in Warriors Hall that it's not super fair, but that's how it goes. I mean, if Wartune went by just player stats and didn't take into consideration U-Demon and Sylph BR, or at least not taking into consideration Sylph Troop BR, then I would easily make it into Warlords Hall. So you'll see Cupcake many times this class wars. In Warriors Hall, it always goes by win record, so you end up seeing, at least the top players end up seeing each other quite a bit. So I see Thing 1 and Cupcake, and those are the two that I see the most, I think. There might be one or two other people that I see a couple of times. Here's Alexis, who I think does pretty well as well. She has Athena and Hercules, which I think is not a bad combo if you don't have Medusas. I still think that Medusas would be a better option, or Triton would be a better option than Athena and Hercules, but if you're in a pinch, it's not a bad combo. Some people, I think, just go with whichever sylphs have the most BR for them, which is not totally unreasonable either, since, for people who have the same win-loss record, it does go by BR for the ranks after that, so having BR will help, especially in a tiebreaker situation. Those of you who saw my tune overview, you'll probably know that I'm sitting on a lot of materials for these Sylph evolutions. I keep on thinking what I should be doing next, and it's probably the Light Sylph. I should probably do the second evolution for that. Eventually we get Sylph fusions, and the Light and Dark one is very, very OP, so I'm probably going to go after that first. That said, getting a red Sylph for any of these is insanely difficult. I think there's only one red Sylph in my entire, in all of the West Coast section that I'm in, and so yeah, that'll take a really long time, and then I have to upgrade a light one as well, so I'm not too keen on putting a ton of materials into a light Sylph, but I guess eventually I'll have to do it. Here's Perfect again. I think I got her at the beginning. Oh, and she has a BL. I mean, that's interesting. I don't think her kid is, well, I don't think anybody's U-Demon is really, like, so stunning that it's worth healing them with a Blessed Light. Maybe the Blessed Light is just so that she heals herself as well. I'm not totally sure. I haven't brought Blessed Light to a Class Wars in a really, really long time. Probably the last time I did that was probably back when the tiebreaker was still whoever had the most HP at the end, and so Class Wars was just like healing just for days. That's all mages did, was heal, heal, heal. So that's not the case anymore. Because the attack stats are so high now, it really looks like the Sylph troops aren't holding up that well. You know, when Sylph troops first came along, I think everybody was sort of surprised by how strong they were, how much HP they have, but now it seems like they're dying really easily. So I'm not, super impressed by them anymore. Here, I have decent dark resistance, and so my Sylph troops inherit those, so maybe they're holding up decently against Perfect, but I think, if it's a much stronger player than her, and definitely, like, if I were in Warriors Hall and any of the top, 5 to 8 players probably can wipe out my troops with one Death's Harvest, definitely one Delphic, but I was clearing most of the troops with Death's Harvest, which is a smaller AoE attack from the Dark Sylphs. And here's Almighty One. Almighty One used to be very, very competitive as far as BR went for Warlords Hall. She might still be able to creep her way back up, since as far as BRs go, it's not quite as competitive to get into Warlords Hall, since we're missing some people who are pretty strong now. Her U-Demon is called Mo Money, which is pretty much all U-Demons are. They have not, dawned on me as very useful yet, and so I'm just really pretty unimpressed by the U-Demons. I think, if you look at games like League of Angels or something like that, and, I much prefer Wartune over League of Angels, but that's beside the point. I think if you see how some other games implement having other heroes on the teams, it's just, in comparison, the U-Demons are not that useful. If I think about LOA, sometimes the helper heroes, the non-main heroes, are sometimes even stronger than their main player counterparts. So I'm not saying that a U-Demon should be stronger than its owner, even though their player stats are actually sometimes higher. Definitely the people who have level 10 or level 9 U-Demons, some of their U-Demon stats are much higher, but without resistances and without percentage astrals, things to reduce damage and stuff like that, well, their resistances are actually okay, but just overall they don't have enough bite to them to really make a huge difference. I never felt like I won or lost a fight because of a U-Demon, put it that way. I feel like I would have won either way, or I would have lost either way. So haven't gotten into a situation where I really find them super troublesome. I was trying to do some of these earlier amnesias, you know, try and get an early stun. If I don't get that, then do an amnesia. If I do successfully stun, you know, wait a couple turns and then put an amnesia on them. That's to hopefully stop them from stunning me. You know, I don't want them using Ice Bolt too many times, or else there's a chance that I'll lose a lot of turns to other, well, not auto attacks, but yeah, if I'm stunned, I won't be doing any damage. And so I didn't want to get into that situation, so I tried to throw an amnesia kind of early, somewhere in the mix. A lot of front row damage with the Dark Sylph, and since I have so much more attack, there's actually a decent chance that I get into this situation where I can kill the player before I kill the U-Demon. I think that happens more with Hercules though, or any of the Electro pets, because Electro has a lot of player priority attacks, so you can actually kill off the main player before any of the troops or anything like that pretty easily. Here's Perfect again. I think this is the third time, and then Cupcake is at least 2 or 3 times. So yeah, I guess these are the 3 people that I see over and over again are Perfect and Thing 1 and Cupcake. Somebody ended up asking in a world chat, you know, how all of the Class Wars finalists were doing, and for whatever reason, I guess somebody on our server, it somehow became a joke on our server that we were all going to lose to all the people from Kabam 38. I guess somebody was saying that there were a lot of strong players on Kabam 38 or something like that, and how we're all going to lose to them, or for whatever reason worrying about it. So somehow it became a joke about losing to the Kabam 38 people. So it's kind of just giving him a little bit of a troll. I think he took me seriously at the beginning though, which is my bad, but I was just playing around. There are actually genuinely strong people on Kabam 38. I think the main thing that people are worried about is probably Hero. Hero is a strong archer on that server. I think Robin was saying that Hero probably didn't play prelims because she didn't see him in finals. Another fight with Cupcake now. People really like that militia outfit. I think it does look good. It's not quite regal enough for my tune. For whatever reason, I decided I wasn't gonna wear it, but I do really like it on other people's tunes. Maybe I'll hop in it for something. I don't know. Not for Class Wars. I decided I have to win Class Wars with a crown, right? Something a little bit more regal. I was just telling Pomo or Cupcake that by the end of this, the top people in Warriors Hall really do get pretty intimate with each other. It's you just see each other over and over and over again. Here I didn't do such a fantastic job getting into Sylph mode. So my resistances are holding up alright. I mean, I have 2 intermediate dark dimensions. It's not like my dark resistance is crazy good, but it's good enough. Would not be good enough for Warlords Hall, but apparently it's good enough for Warriors Hall. But yeah, that Death Harvest right there, that AoE I just did, well, it does wipe out those troops. I mean, they're a little bit dead from just the Awakening AoE, but still, does a lot of damage. I was bugging Robin because in guild chat and putting as much pressure on her as possible. One, just because I like to tease Robin on any given opportunity, but I also really wanted her to win the Archers Warriors Hall, so that we both place 17th and have a double blessing, and I thought that would be really cool. And since I really want to push into Warlords Hall, and that would be harder to both place the same if we're in Warlords Hall, I really wanted to do it this time around, and so I was relentlessly pestering her to do well. Thing one's all smiles this time around, I think, not minding the fight, but she does get a really crappy draw, and I end up fighting her several times, which I feel sort of bad about, because I think if it weren't for a bad draw, Thing one probably would have placed in the top 3 of Warriors Hall, and so it's a little bit difficult. You know, I don't feel good about intentionally losing to anybody, even though I think she had a tough draw, and she shouldn't have gotten me as many times as she did. But if I lose on purpose, then it's not really fair to other people either. So I just left it as it was. But yeah, getting me 2 times in a row is pretty rough. When all the other players are tied up with the same number of wins and for second place, it's probably some sort of random number generator that decides who ends up playing up one step. So I have the highest win record, and so the number of wins that I have doesn't match with anybody else, and so I'm going to be put in a pool with a bunch of people who have a similar win record. Well, the next closest win record, I mean. So my Ice Bolt is going to hit that U Demon, which is sort of unfortunate. For one thing, it shouldn't be that difficult to stun a U Demon, since most people, well, some people put the influence diamonds on them, but it's just not as helpful to stun a U Demon as it would be to stun a player. I think one must have either like a really sturdy Guardian rune or something. I thought for sure I was gonna kill her even if she had a Guardian rune up, so I'm pretty sure if it's not maxed out, it's very close to being maxed out. My Guardian rune is level 8 advanced, so it reduces by 70% for 2 turns, so it's a really big rune. Definitely should be in the toolbox for any mage. I can't think of an exception where a mage would not want a Guardian rune. So Pommel saying 4 times. But yeah, I mean that's about right for Warriors Hall. I think this is actually a little bit more monotonous than preliminaries, because preliminaries I at least get to fight some of the people who ended up in the top 16. Now I feel like I have the same, well, I mean the fights aren't identical, but I just end up with the same like 3 players over and over again. She's on Kabam 50. I thought she was on a slightly older server, but maybe I'm just going crazy. I would really like a server merge with just about anybody. Hopefully a relatively competitive Kabam server, but Kabam is just really difficult about server merges. We haven't gotten one. I know the last time that my server got a merge, so Kabam 18 and 21, we merged in May of 2014. So it's been, I think, over a year now since we got a server merge. We're really overdue. And so this is the last fight, and I end up with Thing 1 again, and it could have been anybody in that section of, with that win record could have gotten me and would have been basically screwed to get into the top 3. But I do feel bad that it was her. She really got unlucky with the draw. So I don't think she's super motivated to fight me this time around, but I'm just trying to wrap it up. Or maybe I don't. I thought I would have sylphed there, but maybe I'm being a little cautious. I don't know why, because she's auto-attacking. The sylph hits are actually pretty decent. It's almost like little bleed hits from the sylph troops, you know, 18 to 20k here and there. It adds up. Alright, the finals have ended. So I go undefeated in Warriors Hall, which is honestly to be expected. I just have such a huge BR advantage. I think anybody out of the top 6, probably like top 10 players in the top 16 would be in the same situation if they were in Warriors Hall. Big congrats to Ray 7 for getting her first Class Wars win. Solara takes second, and I think this is Chili Mac's first time in the top 3. I did say in prelims that he's really been getting a lot bigger, so he's done a nice job there. So big congrats to all of them. And for Warriors Hall, I end up first, and Cupcake and Almighty One are tied up with 11 wins, and then they're kind of separated by BR. And so a big congrats to them as well. And I hope everybody enjoyed finals if they were in it. And I hope you were lucky with the wagers. I'm not sure anybody would have called Ray, then Solara and Chili Mac for the mages. But this was super exciting to me. I was really happy to the point where I was like clicking around all weird and ended up opening my Udemon page. But Robin and I both placed 17th in our respective class wars. Robin is the top archer on my server and one of my guildies, so I was really happy about that. We both get a set of thieves, so we get to summon the thieves twice into our chamber, and the blessing doesn't double, but both our names are on it. And I don't know why, I was just like super irrationally happy about this. I guess not just like happy for my guildie and everything, which I was. I think it's just fun. You know, I've been at the top of my server for a long time, so there are a lot of people who are going to place as well as I do on a regular basis. So I was really just happy to see somebody else doing really well on our server. And so I'm really pleased about that, and I'm hoping for even better results next month. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Take care and have a very good day.